Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nicole with MorningChores.com, and today we are planting potatoes. There are lots of great reasons to plant potatoes in your garden. The first reason is they're easy. This is another one of those easy vegetables. It's easy to plant, maintain, and also harvest. Another reason to grow potatoes in your garden is it's fun for the whole family, especially kids. Because the potatoes are so big, it's easy for little kids to handle them and plant them in the ground. And then when it comes time to harvest, it's almost like a treasure hunt because you don't really know what you're going to get until harvest. So digging up those potatoes and seeing what the bounty is really fun for everybody, but especially for kids. Potatoes store really well, so if you want to try to grow produce that will store through the winter months, potatoes is one of those that does a really good job at this. And we will talk more about this at harvest time, but it is something to consider and think about during planting season. And the last reason to grow potatoes is they taste good. There's lots of recipes that call for potatoes. They're scrumptious and yummy, and you can make them in so many different ways that it's a very versatile, hearty vegetable. Seed potatoes can be easily acquired in the early spring, usually from your local greenhouse or nursery. I've even seen them at some of my local health food stores and grocery stores. It really is best if you can acquire seed potatoes from your local area because those potatoes that have been cultivated in your area will be more adapted to your local climate and your environment. Don't panic though if you can't find seed potatoes in your area. There are plenty of reputable companies online that you can order from, so there's something for everyone. The nice thing about potato planting is all you usually need is a rake or a shovel, and of course, you need your potatoes. Prepping the soil for your potatoes can be easy or hard depending on if this is your first year gardening and you're putting in a brand new garden or if you have a well-established garden. But paying attention to the soil and getting it ready and prepped for your potatoes or all of your fruits and vegetables is extremely important because the integrity and the quality of your soil directly affects the success of your fruits and vegetables. Potatoes need loose, workable soil, so it's really important that whatever space you're prepping, that the soil is loose and easy to work with. If you've been following the channel for some time now, you know that we recommend the Back to Eden Garden method. I will link the intro video to that method in the description box below. But to get you up to speed, if you've just jumped onto our channel, the Back to Eden Garden method is where you cover your soil with wood chips, and those wood chips help with water retention. They help keep the soil just the right consistency for your fruits and vegetables. So because my garden is covered with wood chips, I don't really have to do a lot of soil prep. It's kind of already done for me. It's always important to remember that you need to continuously add nutrition to your soil. So for example, things like composted manure, if you keep a compost bin of your kitchen scraps, you can use that once it's broken down. You can also add things like ashes from your wood stove. All of these things will add nutrition back into that soil, which then that nutrition will be transposed into your fruits and vegetables as they grow. We added composted chicken manure in the fall and then covered the garden with wood chips. So my soil should be good and ready to go for these potatoes. So let's get planting. The first step in the planting process is to evaluate the space you plan on planting your potatoes, and it looks like I have a few weeds that I need to remove, so you want to make sure you remove all the weeds before planting. The next step is to pull back the wood chips. You do not want to plant your potatoes in the wood chips. They need planted in the soil. Next, dig about a 3-inch trench with the side of your rake. It doesn't have to be perfectly 3 inches as long as you get it close.
Now when it
comes to planting your seed potatoes, some people recommend that you lay your potatoes out in the sun a few days ahead of planting. And the purpose of this is the sun helps toughen up the skin to make it more resilient against disease. I did some research on this and found that it's not necessary. In the past 2 years, I have not done this and my potatoes have been very successful. So it's really a personal preference thing, but I wanted to go ahead and mention it here so that you can make the decision for yourself. Another recommendation that a lot of gardeners do is they will cut up their seed potato into chunks, making sure that each chunk has at least 3 eyes on each piece. So eyes are these little pieces on the potato, and they're usually all over. I did some research on this as well and found that it's not really necessary. So 2 years ago, I decided to not cut up my seed potato. I just stuck it in the ground whole, just like this, and I had great success with my potatoes. So again, personal preference. If you've been doing that for years and years and years and it's worked for you, great. If you're new to gardening, maybe try both methods and see which potatoes do better. Now it's time for the fun part, planting your potatoes. You want to plant your seed potatoes roughly 12 inches apart in rows 18 inches apart. I tend to put my potatoes a little bit closer together because my soil is so loose and workable. They find plenty of space to expand and grow. Cover your potatoes with the soil and then cover with the wood chips. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Also head over to morningchores.com where you'll find all kinds of information on gardening, homesteading, DIY, and much, much more. Have a wonderful day and we'll see you next time.